Tell you what, it was an interesting week. I'll tell you this. I go on Twitter, and yes, I'm going to continue to call it Twitter because I don't know if someone says, "Hey, do you have X?" You go, "No, why? Do you got some?" Or if they say, "Are you on X?" No, oxycodone. Why do you ask? It's just a stupid name. I'm sorry, Elon, but that's he could have came up with something better. But then again, he named his kid like a symbol, like Prince or something like that. I don't know. In any event, met a lot of good people on there this week. So I'm trying to think. I'm like, this spaces thing. Let me go on there, and I've been on a few. And actually, there's some wackadoos. Of course, you're going to get a couple of those, but for the most part, some nice people and a lot of different people that not only that I connected with that we're going to have on the show. We're going to have some more, um, I guess what you could call serious subjects, stuff that I could have and I've worked on for a while, and I have a few A-listers in the pike. I put them off. I just woke up one day and I'm like, you know what? There's some subjects out there, really important things that need to be said, and a lot of places, a lot of radio stations or live TV, whatever you want to call it, satellite. They don't want to do it, or they'll do the interview with this particular person or group of people on a certain subject, whether it's child trafficking, whether it's alcoholism, whether it's domestic violence, whatever the case may be. You got a lot of issues going on with the truckers and everything, and I'm going to have them on real soon as well. Um, I love those guys. Those are the people. That's you're the end users out there, but how do you get the stuff on your table every week? Well, it's due to them. But there's a lot of important one. I guess you can't say is important than the other. They're all equally important to who it's important to. So the difficult subjects, the ones that nobody wants to talk about, that they kind of cringe, where like they're aware of it, but they don't want to actually talk about it or speak to others about it or be on camera or be on audio or whatever the case may be. I've actually spoke to several people in all those different areas the last couple of weeks, and I've decided, like I mentioned earlier, I alluded to, I pushed back the other people I was going to interview and have on the show, and we're going to give regular people with regular issues and causes stuff that not that I didn't believe in it before, but it hits home when you actually talk to a victim or a survivor or something of that. I mean, you could just feel it. Some people talk and others speak. And I was touched by a lot of these people that I spoke to. I'm not going to lie to you. That's right. Even the meme machine has a heart. I decided to push everything back and start having them on because they need to be heard. You know, People will do a audio or something video wise, and then they put it on a shelf, right? They put it on the shelf, and that's the end of that. They don't use the interview, they don't run it, or whatever it is. I don't understand. Maybe they make people feel uncomfortable or whatever. Well, that's tough because blissful ignorance and plausible deniability are now over as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to do everything in my power to give these people a platform to say what needs to be said. This isn't the nice machine. Okay. I believe in these people. I believe in their causes. And if I can read some copy or do an audio commercial or ebook or help out and get the word out or plug and promote their websites or their causes and what they're doing and what they're building and what they've been through and all these different things, if that's even possible, that I could weigh in and do a small part to help some of these children, to help some of these people to get over what they're going and be able to heal and just being able to get it out in front of the whole world. You have something to say, you have an actual story, you know about it, or that person is you, reach out to me because I'm going to give you a platform. I want to know what's going on. I want to know how I can help, how others can help. I think it's important, and we all have a story. The only difference is, you know, how's it going to end? Well, I think people that don't know need to know, and the people that do know need to be woken up because the time is now to talk about this stuff. The time is now, not later on, now. That being said, I want to get too hot and heavy here, but that's exactly what I've been up to the last week or two. And there's a lot of good people out there. I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. There's a lot of good people in this world. If you can't find one, you should definitely be one. That's how you pay it forward. That's how you help others. That's how you reach out and say, hey, what can I do to help you? It doesn't mean that you have to have deep pockets, but you do have to have a deep heart. I have one, and I know there's a lot of people that are listening and watching right now that do too. I want to help, and that is the way that I know how to do it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with Ashley, and she's got a story to say to tell. And we've had her on before. We had her on back in, I think it was November, and some of this stuff is sad, but it's true. Henceforth, what we put on X, how we ran the ads, it's sad but true. It's not just a Metallica song. It actually is right in line with what's going on. James has a story as well. So we'll have enough time to be able to bring up her and then him, and then we'll have it like a small little panel there. And if you do want to call in, we're going to run the number in a little while where you could actually call in or type in the chat if you're on YouTube or in Twitch. And if they want to answer you, they can. Anyway, that's what we got going on March 3rd, 2024. This is the Mean Machine Radio Show. And we're glad that you're with us. Gonna have to do a couple of off-air, real quick breaks here. But that's what we got going on for this week. So, got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to do stuff that's good for the soul.
Tune into the Mean Machine Radio Show in New Jersey for real talk with no BS. We're real people telling it like it is. Get the raw truth on all things in society, life, and culture. Join us for brutally honest guests, banter, and no-nonsense advice. The Mean Machine Radio Show, where life gets real.
Let's go! Like this. And now live from your sister's closet, it's the Mean Machine Radio Show on New Jersey, 88 WWGAT.
This is probably the best station in the world.
That's right.
Yeah, do whatever.
Discover the ultimate society and culture experience on the Mean Machine radio show. Tune in to 88.6 WGIT every weekend for stimulating discussions, unscripted interviews, sarcastic humor, and thought-provoking insights, hosted by the charismatic, sarcastic, and enigmatic Gregory Joseph, aka the Mean Machine. Join us for no-nonsense realism, a truly different on-air radio experience for all ages. Don't miss it.
Oh man, I can't get enough of your voice. Keep on talking.
All right, so that's one of those little promos that we made out there. Okay, so we're gonna kill the music here, and I'm gonna run the phone number because we will be. Well, actually, we are live right there. There's a little clunky satellite feed. Beautiful. Okay, so as promised, we're gonna bring in Ashley first, and then James is gonna be coming in after. So we have a lot of stuff that needs to be said. Like I was telling in, I was mentioning, I should say, in our little prelude there. And the bottom line is, why take it from me? You don't want to take it from me. You want to hear it right from those people. Everybody has a story. And Ashley, who I've spoken to before, is a very courageous person. And she's had it rough, but you know what? Don't hear it from me. Like I said, we're going to hear it from her. She's got a specific story that's a little bit different from, we can't get to everything. We had some back in November that you can see on our YouTube page. And we also have, well, going forward. But right now, let's bring her in without me yapping more about it. All right, boom.
Hello.
There she is. Good afternoon, young lady.
Yes,
The
hello.
world? Yeah, the world? Ashley, the world. There you go. Introductions are over there.
Yeah.
Coming live from Alabama. Welcome to New Jersey. How you doing?
Hello. Very well, thank you. How are y'all doing?
We're good.
Watch any good horror movies lately?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You mean like horror movies?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we have look, scary movies. How's that? Can we agree on scary movies?
We can agree on scary movies, but that's so
Yeah.
funny. When she said it, I was like, we all say it like that. We
Oh,
all
what do
do.
you mean? You say what?
Emily, when Emily said horror movies, like she said horror movies, I was like,
Yeah, and I'm like,
that's
like, what's
exactly
a horror
what you say.
movie? You'd be like, Debbie Does Dallas. That's a horror movie. Is that what you're
No.
talking about?
Yeah, no, but we all say it that way down here. Like everything just kind of runs together sometimes. But no, that cracked me up so much watching that. But anyways, no,
right.
when I heard the topic of this one, most people would go to something that's more serious. My immediate thought was something that was very comical. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking the first story that comes to my mind is these kids have it easy. They don't understand. We used to have to go pick the weapons that our parents used against us. Man,
Yes, we did. And
we
the
did.
smallest thing we could find, like, here's a dandelion. How's this? Is this good? No, go back and get the hockey stick, right?
Uh-huh. You don't want me to have to go get it. I got that all the time. Man, now I'm like, I'll turn off your Wi-Fi, and they're like, oh my God. I'm like, y'all have it easy. Man, should tell you to go outside and find me a stick.
Well, for those that didn't watch the last interview that we had back in, I think it was like November 10th, something like that. If you want to tell everybody, for those that are listening that can't see you, and
Mhm.
obviously the people on YouTube that can, tell us a little bit about yourself, just to acquaint yourself with our listeners,
Oh,
our
yes.
audience, if you don't mind.
Yes, no problem. My name is Ashley. I'm 37. I'm about to be 38, y'all. I'm getting closer to 40. I'm a widow with 3 kids, twins and a younger one. The twins are teens. It's horrible. Would not recommend. 0 stars.
Kids or twins?
Twin teens. Oh my gosh, y'all.
Yeah,
I
you're right.
thought one with hormones was bad enough. Now I got them all coming at me at sides. They're like, I'm like, good morning. And they're like, is it really, mother? Is it really a good morning? I'm like, I guess not.
They don't
Okay.
call you like Mother Superior or anything like that, right? They just call you Mom.
Well, sometimes they say mother. I'm waiting for mommy dearest to come out of their mouth at some
Oh,
point.
shit.
But yeah. Anyways, I come from Alabama. I've not only have I been widowed once, I've been widowed twice actually. I was very young, got married. Just giving you kind of the Cliff Notes version of this. He ended up committing suicide. Fast forward, I was married for 17 years to my second husband, and he died of cirrhosis. And that's kind of the quick version of everything. That way, everybody's kind of caught up. Not only that, my second husband was an abusive alcoholic, and that's why he died of cirrhosis, obviously. And it got pretty bad. It got probably what I would say beyond extreme at times. It only escalated, which I saw happening, and we did separate towards the end there. But that's it. That's me. I don't think I could fill you in on anything else other than, we could get into how bad it was, but I mean, like, I guess it is sad but true. Alcoholics, I don't know. I've never met one that got as bad as he was without them being a belligerent, mean, violent drunk. I haven't been around a whole lot of alcoholics, but I have a fair share that I have been around. And it got to the point where he actually pistol whipped me one night with a loaded gun. And I don't even remember why, honestly. No idea why. Now, I'm
This
sure I
is
knew
I'm sorry, this was your
late,
second husband.
yep, late husband.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And, but he was so great when we met. Like, before he started drinking and stuff, totally different person.
They
We
usually
were
are.
together for I think 6 years before he really started heavily drinking. Before then, it was like socially drinking, and then that snowballed. But I know that's it's sad, but it's true, and a lot of people deal with that, and that's another sad fact that I'm not the only one. There's got to be so many people who don't talk about it. I was embarrassed to talk about it,
Well, didn't
and
people see you? I mean, forgive me for asking, but I'm just
yeah.
this is what's on my mind. Did people see you? And we kind of glazed the surface on this last time. Like, you leave the house, you're going to the store, you're with your kids were little at the time, right? I mean, they're like small.
Well, it didn't get really, really bad until they were like, I guess they were in kindergarten, the older girls, and yes, I had to go places, and yes, people saw. I mean, there's no other way that it could be done. I had to do all the errands and stuff. I try to wear the glasses and cover things up, but there were several times that I had to actually go in public, and I don't know, I was covered in bruises, and that's after I healed for like a week.
And you
So,
mean, like, you put glasses on, like, to cover, like, a black eye or something like that, and you're,
oh
like,
yeah,
walking around, and were your kids around when this happened, or, like, it wasn't in front of them, right? I believe that you said no.
oh no, absolutely, some of it was in front of them. Um, Not all the time, not at first. At first, it was very just things like he'd push me and then I'd fall, or he pushed me and I hit a table. And then it turned into, well, I guess it turned into choking and then hitting and then both. And then towards the end there, it was he threw a knife at me once, which I'm not going to lie. I lost my temper and I jumped up and grabbed it and threw it back at him. But
Wow.
I was really upset. Like, I was so upset. This is after he pistol whipped me. So,
And this is just from no more than him just drinking. You didn't.
mhm.
I mean, there's no rhyme or reason why stuff like this happens. Obviously, there is no okay.
No,
But what
honest,
triggered him?
honestly, thinking back on it, it's probably me griping at him for drinking.
Uh huh.
I did a lot of that, and I probably poured out some of his alcohol, which sent him into a fury.
So he
So,
would come home that way. He wasn't drinking at home. He would go out, get drunk, and then come home to where you and your kids are.
oh, he would do it
There.
here, but what he would do is he would sneakily. We have a service that will deliver it, so he doesn't even have to go anywhere or anything, and so he would just have it delivered. So, or he'd
Right.
pick it up on the way home, and everybody was like, "Well, just stop getting it for him." I'm like, I don't get it for him. I mean, he has it delivered 90% of the time, and the other percentage, he's getting it while he's at the grocery store. So,
So this is your second husband. Now, going back real
Hmm.
quick, I'm guessing that you got married. Obviously, your first husband, you had to be. I mean, you're young now, so you had to have been very young when you first got married, I would assume.
I was very young. I was 18.
Okay.
And that didn't last long before he committed suicide. He didn't drink, he didn't do anything.
You
But
have
now,
children. I'm sorry, I was going to say your kids are
oh,
both with. Now you have twins only, right?
mhm. I have twins and an 8-year-old.
And an 8-year-old. Are any of these
Yep,
children from your first marriage, or they're all from your second marriage?
all from the second.
All from the second. So when you were 18, he was young as well. I'm guessing, right?
He was 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's still, yeah. And what happened there? Because you said he didn't drink.
Well,
It wasn't bad, from what you told me. How did that come
mm,
about? If you even know, I mean,
well, I overheard some stuff. Like his dad said he should have stayed on medication, and then I found out deeper things. Like, his mother had cheated on his father before, and he was traumatized from it because the guy she was cheating with put him in the trunk of a car and drove around with him. And his dad told me that. And
I'm
then
sorry,
later on,
he was in the trunk of a car. Is that what you?
yeah, when he was a kid,
Why?
him and his mom and this guy just shoved him in the trunk of a car, or they thought it was funny,
They
is what his
thought
dad
it
said.
was funny.
They thought it was funny, and his dad was livid, apparently. But obviously, who wouldn't be livid if you knew your kid was put in a trunk and driven around just because their mom's cheating on you?
Yeah, that kind of
It-
doesn't sit well. Here in Jersey, people are found in trunks, but they're way over 21 by then, so it's cool. But prior to that, well, I mean, that's only during football season they let them out. But I'm talking about
yeah,
like that's got to be traumatic for a kid. I mean,
right. And so
you-
so
uh,
I saw her talking to him again.
you were freezing up a little bit. It's the
Weird.
satellite.
So Dad and I could come up with because uh oh,
Yeah, is that your computer? Oh, it looks like it's fighting.
yes, my computer. Oh,
Do we have to go to a commercial? Isn't that what they always say?
freezing.
Yeah. We could hear you. It's just your camera's freezing for some reason. I don't know if that's your Wi-Fi or
Oh no.
it's
Oh, it says
becoming a
oops.
horror movie. Oh, and she's gone just like that. All right. Thank you. Good night. No, so obviously we're having some technical difficulties there. I can't even talk, so they have difficulties with that as well. I'm going to see if we could get her back. Obviously, there's a problem with the satellite there. I apologize. Um, but we'll get her back. Perfect time to go to break, but we're going to bring Ashley right back. We'll get her back on there. There's obviously a Wi-Fi problem, but not to worry. We'll be right back. Time to hit the commercial. Be back with Ashley right here on New Jersey 88.6 WGAT.
Discover the ultimate society and culture experience on the Mean Machine radio show. Tune in to 88.6 WGIT every weekend for stimulating discussions, unscripted interviews, sarcastic humor, and thought-provoking insights, hosted by the charismatic, sarcastic, and enigmatic Gregory Joseph, aka the Mean Machine. Join us for no-nonsense realism, a truly different on-air radio experience for all ages. Don't miss it.
Oh man, I can't get enough of your voice. Keep on talking.
Are you ready for your host? Here he is.
You're listening to the Mean Machine Radio Show, hosted by DJ Gregory Joseph on New Jersey 88 WGIT.
All right. I'm guessing that we're good with our break. It looks like we have Ashley back. So, sorry, that kind of was a little abrupt. So, we'll go back. Yeah, coming back from break. It's not an exact science, people. You know, this is satellite radio. It's not WPLJ in New York, but hey, we'll get there one day. All right. I think we're good. So let's get rid of the acoustics right here, and we'll bring back Ashley. So hopefully the link up is good. And I think we got her back. There she is.
Hello.
All right, can you hear us? All
Yes.
right, what happened? If you had a pee,
I don't
what
know.
did
Well, I had to do a little more than pee, so I just clip, go, run, bye.
Yeah, but that's Alabama. You have like a little bucket or something. Like,
No, we don't do that in the buckets. We dig holes. Yeah, dig holes for that.
You're scaring me.
Cover it up. Anyways,
Wow. And that's what kitty litter is for. I noticed that even if you don't have cats, everybody has kitty litter. We know what that's for.
That's true. That's very true.
So, I don't know what happened. I'm guessing it was the satellite hookup, but sorry that we had to zoom in over to a commercial break there. Okay,
no.
So you were saying about, or we were mentioning about your first marriage, on how he had some trauma, your first husband.
Yes.
And you're thinking that even though that happened when he was little, I mean, he obviously was enough well-adjusted where you married him and everything was fine for a bit, right? I mean,
Oh yeah. Well, and like I said, I think the fact that his mom was talking to that guy because they both worked together and he saw it, I think that it set something off in him because he knew she was cheating again on his dad automatically. And with the same guy who locked him in a trunk. So this is what his dad told me afterwards, stuff he found out. And so his dad and I both assumed that maybe something clicked in him or something triggered. And he just lost it because nobody expected that. Like, nobody.
it just came out of nowhere, right? I mean, you were married for how long when this happened?
Not even a year, maybe 9 months.
And there was no signs. Like people say, oh, well, I didn't see the signs or I didn't acknowledge it. Nothing, right? You said.
Well, not at the time, but like that night he was freaking out and like trying to get me to come home like immediately. And I was having dinner with my mom and I didn't do that but once a week. And my mom said, I just have a bad feeling. Why don't you just stay here and have dinner and then go home? And so I did. And that's when he started just flipping out. And I had the cops. I actually called the police to go do a welfare check because I don't know, he was just flipping out. And I didn't really want to go there with him freaking out. And I knew he had, not that I ever thought he would use a weapon against me, but he had several guns. That was his thing. And actually he wanted to be a police officer. So
he had it in the house, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And you're aware of this. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
I'm fully aware of him. Yeah. He was just like, I don't know. At the time, being a younger person, a teenager, my thought process was, he's just flipping out. Let's get the police over there to let him calm down. And then everything will be okay. Oh no.
Are you there, Ashley?
You've frozen up on me, Greg.
You're frozen on me. I can see your lips moving. That's what she said.
Oh. Okay, can you hear me now? Because I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. You're just kind of staggering around there. That's the Wi-Fi in your end, I think. I don't know what happened.
It's got to be, yeah. This is the best spot I got so far. So, anyways, right. So I don't know. That was a rough time to be a teenager.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, I mean, did you come home and just find him? Is that what happened?
I just, no. The police actually called me and actually told me that I needed to come there. And at that point, I knew something bad had happened. And my mom drove me.
Wait a minute. So the cops knew about it and called you because you weren't home and they said, come home.
Yes. Well, because I called them, remember, to go do a welfare check. And so they got there, and I guess they had enough reasonable cause because they called me and they were like, "Can we bust the door down?" And I gave them full permission to because I knew he was at home and there's no reason why he wouldn't answer the door. So they went in, and about 15 minutes later, I got a call that said, "Hey, will you need to come down here?" And that's all they would tell me. And then my mom drove me. When I got there, there was a chaplain there, and everybody was. And I honestly don't even know how long I was at the house. I was under shock. I ended up going home with my dad, and that was, I don't know, I was in shock for a long time.
He shot himself.
Yes, he did.
Now you
And of
weren't
course,
always able. I'm
what
sorry. No, your audio is going in and out a little bit. And that's okay. I'm guessing that you weren't able to talk about it then, but you're able to now.
yes,
Is that
absolutely
right?
correct. hmm It's one of those things, I guess it took a long time to process, and I did therapy and all that stuff. Oh God, my mom tried to put me in therapy at a church. That was the most horrible thing in my entire life. It's just a bunch of old people, and it was not like a traditional therapy. But once I got into traditional therapy, it was much better. I was able to process things, but I still wasn't talking about it at all. Um,
Okay. But that
yeah.
was then. I'm talking about like now you're able to for at
Oh,
least a decent
yeah,
you're does
absolutely. I
that
find
mean
it
you're at
helpful because I'm not the only one who went.
well, I'm just saying that you're at peace with it now? Is that why? Is that what has to happen if someone went through something similar, whether you know them or not? Is that what it comes down to in your opinion, in your experience, that you have to make peace with it before you could
You
actually
know,
talk about it, or do you need to talk about it to make peace with it? Which way does that work?
that's something I never really thought about it like that. I think it's probably different for different people, but for me, it was easier after I made peace with it. Like the
How long did that
acceptance,
take?
oh, honestly, like 7 or 8 years after it happened, maybe even more close to 10.
And you were still young at the time. I mean, that means you were like, what, 27? Something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I can't even imagine.
That's I used to have a box of all the things, and so that's when I went through it all, and you know, got rid of the stuff that wasn't needed anymore, and kept the few things that I wanted to keep.
Hmm. And
So
then when did you get married, for the second time? That was after 7, 8 years after that happened?
yeah,
Or
I was 21.
oh, so you had oh, wow. So you went right into
Yes, and I think that's what depression does to people. You kind of jump into situations that you wouldn't normally jump into because of the immediate happiness, not the long term. You're not thinking long term. It's just how it feels right then.
okay. So you thought that you were
So,
depressed and that's why you got married as quick as you did. Not saying that you didn't love your second husband. I'm just saying that I'm not saying that it's unusual because I wouldn't know, but it seemed like for me anyway, if I was in your situation, I mean, kudos to you because I probably wouldn't even have gone next to another person or near someone for quite some time. I mean, that's a traumatic thing. I mean, what you went through
oh yeah,
at a young age.
um, yeah, it was, and I do think that it was. Now looking back, I think it was depression driven. Now, if you would have asked me back then if I was depressed, I would have denied it 100%,
Hmm.
and basically told you you're just crazy or just it's you, it's not me. But looking back now, I mean, I had every right to be depressed, and instead of embracing it, I just kind of pushed against it, which is not the right thing to do. I know a lot of people do that. A lot of people push so much against it that they don't realize that all you have to do is ask for help or try to help yourself, and you'll feel a lot better. That stigma just rolls off as soon as you start feeling better.
So it did, in essence, for use of a better word, it did work for you. You said that might not be the case for somebody who's gone through something traumatic at that age,
Yeah.
exactly the way you did. Everybody obviously is different. It's not a cookie cutter approach. For you, it was that you kind of glided for a couple of years and tried to get over it and boxed what you could and got rid of what you didn't want and what you wanted to have as a memento or reminder
Right.
and then moved on. And now here you are, fast forward, now you have children
Yes.
with this second husband. And I'm guessing, I'm just playing devil's advocate, but that everything was fine at the beginning with your new
Hmm.
husband, right? Okay.
Oh,
So
for
he was
6 years it was
understanding.
great. Mm.
He understood of what you went through, or at least he, empathized and sympathized with.
Well,
Yeah.
and yeah, kind of. Towards the end there, the alcohol really got to him, and there was some instances to where he would be like, "He did it because of you." He knew how to push my buttons using those things that I told him in confidence. And
You mean to get a
even though,
rise out of you, he would just drop that on you
yeah,
anytime he want. Oh, really? That's kind of a
oh
shitty thing to
yeah,
do.
yeah. The other thing was, "You're crazy, just like your mother," and so I loved that one. Um, But, a lot of instances like that. But yes, due to that whole thing, I learned to compartmentalize a lot of things. And now I'm at the point where I'm unboxing everything.
Well, what does
Trying
that
to
mean? Crazy like your mother. What does that mean?
Oh, my mother was a lot to handle. Um she's like a
Name one
five
mother
foot
that's not.
I know she's like a 5 foot tall little Native American woman, and one of the times he did hit me. My mom came over with one of those little bitty baseball bats. Like, I don't know. And she chased him around the
That's a woman.
yard yelling. Well, she was yelling, "I'm the only one allowed to hit my kid."
I don't mean to laugh. I'm like, Jesus, like, pick your poison, right?
I
Yeah,
know.
you're not gonna hit me. She's gonna hit me, God damn it.
I know.
Wow. And you're like, and here you are with this humongous thing going the little bat. I'd hate to see what the big one is. Not that I'm trying to make a little levity here, making light of it,
She
but
was so little. She was
sounds
so little that was a perfect size bat for her.
I'm not gonna say
But
it 'cause come on. But anyway, all right, so here we are. You get pregnant. You're having your first child. Now you said you have an 8-year-old and then the twins. Now the twins, forgive me because I don't remember exactly.
mhm.
The twins were okay, so you have the 8-year-old and then the twins came right after. I have that
No,
wrong?
the twins are 14.
So they were first.
Yeah, they were first. It broke me in hard. Like, if you have two twins, oh my gosh, or more, trust me, you can handle any kids after that. You're good.
Yeah, I will never know that feeling, and I'm glad because anybody that's going to give birth to a bowling ball coming out of their body, and much less two at the same time, and then just for kicks, let's pop out another. Yeah, you have all my respect. I already told you that a long time ago. That's got to be,
Man,
you know, I stubbed my
I
toe, I cry like a little bitch, and now you're
I thought
popping
it was
out,
gonna be like, okay, go in. Oh, I was so excited. Like, I was, yes, yes, yes. And until they started talking about me, how the twins are sideways. Like, they were just sideways. And then there was no space for them to turn. But you know what they told me? Their solution
well,
was,
because there's
we
two
can.
people in there. God damn it! Of course, there's not enough space. That wasn't the, was not
Right?
the plan. I'm guessing. Yeah,
No. And so the doctor was like, we can reach in and turn them. I was sitting there thinking, like, with what?
gotta
What are
get
you
out the
reaching
salad
in and
board.
turning?
Yeah. So,
Well,
oh, they're both girls, right? You have girls.
yes, all girls.
All girls. Wow. What a house that must
Hmm.
be. If I ever come over to your house and I have to use the bathroom, I'll just go and use the Holiday Inn because you with 3 women in that house, there is no way anybody's getting in that bathroom. I already know
No,
already. Actually 4.
no.
4 women, including you.
I,
So,
I have my own bathroom. So, yeah, it's a fight over theirs. Well,
thankfully, that's not the case.
I've always heard boys are dirtier than girls. I have a bathroom that's shared by three girls. That is not true. Mm-mm.
I
No.
don't know.
Oh no, I have
I've heard.
brother-in-laws. No, the girls are like the. I'm not even going to get into the feminine product situation.
Yeah, please don't. So, yeah, that's, I've lived with women, I've been married and everything. Yeah, I know what that's like, and I don't know. Just it seemed like there was just hair everywhere. I thought I was married to a werewolf. I swear to God, but it's just a point where, yeah, for us, for guys, like with the
Yes.
bathrooms, it was like, you know what? Just throw like a Yankee towel over it. All right, good to go. Let's go. We don't give a shit. It's a little bit different for
Yeah.
us when you have boys. But
Yeah.
all right, so
Yeah. We have
you're
hair
doing that and
everywhere.
fast forwarding. Yeah, like I said, it's like friggin' it was like Teen Wolf growing up over here. But so
Hmm.
everything was fine for a while, and everything's fine with the kids and your husband and everything. He wasn't drinking then, or it was more not as scaled as it was, or what it turned into, I should say.
It was, yeah, you're right. It was like social drinking. And so nothing like major. I didn't see anything wrong with it. And then I started to notice him going out more. You know, that's where it started. Like,
Mm.
not a weekend, it would be like a weekday. And then he'd stay out almost
Like,
all
instead
night.
of going to
And
work, I'm just gonna go out and, like, go to the bar? Is that what it was
yeah,
like? Or
yeah,
huh.
exactly. And so then he just started coming home trashed. And my big thing was, you're driving drunk. Of course, he couldn't understand that. That was beyond, because he would always be like, I wasn't drunk. And I was like, yes, you were. Like, I can tell when somebody's drunk. They actually get annoying. I don't know if they know that, but they're very annoying when they're drunk
Oh,
and you're sober.
trust me, I get it. I have not had a I have not drank since 2012, but when I'm around people like that, if it's a wedding, if it's this and that, and you're like, "Sheesh," like, you just wanna punch him in the face, like, it's just like, what I
I
don't think I
know.
was ever that bad, or maybe I was. If you know me for
Oh,
more
yeah.
talk to me more than 5 minutes, you'll know I don't need alcohol or drugs. Trust me, I'm Ubats the way that I am. I don't need anything added to that. This salad is just fine, but
Yeah.
I can only imagine that's how it starts. Oh, I'm going to drink just to have a couple of beers during the day after work. It's no big deal. And then it leads to, I don't know, liquor, I would assume. I mean, that's when usually all the good stuff happens. Uh, I'm guessing that that's kind of how that took off like that. I mean, that's usually
Yeah.
what happens.
Well, he was just towards. Oh, yeah.
Are we losing
Oh,
you again?
absolutely. It went from beer to liquor. I don't hope not. You there?
I am.
Hold on.
See me waving at you?
Okay. You are. Okay, good. Um, yeah, I
Yeah, you're
just
breaking up
waved
a
at
little
you.
bit, but that's okay.
No, it did. It went from beer to liquor. Sometimes he would have wine, but that was not very often. Okay. As long as you can hear me, I guess. We'll catch back up.
I, yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, I
then
can.
he
Yeah,
got to
it's just
liquor,
that
and we're
plus
talking about he went from at one point he's drinking a gallon of liquor a day.
a gallon. A gallon of liquor, you said? Oh, nah, the audio went out. Yeah.
Yes, a gallon. The big ones, yes.
Of what? We couldn't hear you. What was it again? Yeah, well, we're gonna go to break
All right.
anyway in about 90 seconds, so
Oh, can you hear me now?
yeah. No, we could hear you. It's just you're kinda stuttering along there. That's the feed on
Okay.
your side
Well,
that
it was a
what
it
that
was a
is.
gallon of like Crown.
Crown
That
Royal.
was
Ah,
his thing.
sure.
Oh,
Alright,
yeah.
I think we're gonna have to go to break. I don't know
But
what's going on with your
um,
Wi-Fi, but, it happens, I guess.
Crown
Not a
Royal,
big deal. Well,
and then towards the end there,
I don't
this
even know if
time, like when he died, it was Jameson, and it was not a gallon. It was more like a fifth a day.
alright, I don't know if
So he
you
slowed down
can see me or
a little
yeah,
bit.
you're kinda going in and out. That's you're gonna have to reconnect, Ashley. Alright, I don't know if she can hear me or not, but, you might or might not be, but that's okay. We're having some,
All right,
technical
I'll reconnect
difficulties over
during the break.
yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's gonna happen, it is what it is. We don't have the strongest signal over here. It's gonna be a lot of fun when we bring James in a little bit because we've got this poor guy's been waiting for a little bit, and, we were gonna bring him on next, kinda like a panel. So we're gonna go to break. When we get back, we're gonna have Ashley, and we're gonna bring in James. We're gonna introduce you to James as well, while she reconnects. That's what she's doing right now, and it's gonna be fun because and okay, these are serious. Obviously, it's a serious subject. You could hear for the most part what her story has been like, what her life has been like, and we want to make sure that you get the whole story, not the PC version, the actually what goes on, what happens, what's happened to her. And then James is going to be telling you about his story as well. So hang in there. We're gonna we're working on all these different hookups and everything. It should be fine. We're gonna take a little break and then we'll be back. You are listening to New Jersey 88.6 WGAT. I am Gregory Joseph, and you are listening to the Mean Machine Radio Show live from the great state of New Jersey. Yes.
Now live from your sister's closet. It's the Mean Machine Radio Show on New Jersey 88 WWGAT.
This is probably the best station in the world.
That's right.
Okay, let's go.
Tune in to the Mean Machine Radio Show with Gregory Joseph on New Jersey 88.6 WGAT. Your ultimate destination for real people, real life, and pop culture discussions. Join us for insightful conversations, special guests, and a lot of fun every week. Don't miss out on the excitement. Listen to the Mean Machine Radio Show. Rock me, baby.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Really? You couldn't even play the whole thing? Come on, man.
I was going to. But,
anyway.
I just played a song that says I don't smoke it
okay.
anymore. I can't play Sweet Lady. It just doesn't, it's like. Yes, we're all clean. Anyway, go ahead.
No. It's all good. It's all good. Actually, I want to preface this a little bit because I'm only here because I connected with Ashley and her Spaces partner, Jordan. I don't know how, maybe in October of last year or something. And we all just hit it off on X/Twitter. And interesting fact, if you try to put X.com, it actually reverts back to Twitter.com. So news for you, Greg, I guess, but whatever.
I don't even know what that means. I'm going to be held out because I know August has switched to Twitter. And like I said at the beginning of the show, like, hey, you got X? You sound like a friggin' dealer. Twitter. Yes, we have it. I don't know. I'm a space ghost.
Yes, it does.
I don't know.
Well, exactly. And one of the things that, and this is how I got to know Ashley. This is how I got to know Jordan, because I was merely a person in the background in the very beginning. Here they are just sharing all their stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just join on the conversation and say? And it just turns out that we all just meshed really, really well. And I think that's a little bit how you found us or found Ashley, because I know you weren't looking for me. I understand. It's fine. Then they just hit on some awesome different topics. And then, we like you said earlier, we have all this, we've all got crazy stories. While my stories don't extend from a just domestic background. I actually, my I don't even know how to say this right, but I was very sick young. I missed very much of my senior year in high school back in 2000 because I was sick, and it was due to an illness that people didn't really know very much about back in the day. So I was in and out of the hospital for a good part of a year. I had all the on, and it turned out that I had lupus, and that was the disease I suffered from. And at this point, they really had no idea what that even was. And lupus might sound familiar to a lot of people because Dr. House on I don't know if you guys ever watched the show House MD.
It's like my hero. It's a guy named Greg from Jersey who's sarcastic. What, are you kidding me? He's like my favorite.
Well, that's exactly it. But one of his things was he's like, finally, I have a case with lupus. And that's one of the.
I know.
But that was one of the things, and everybody, and it was one of those diseases that nobody knew. Nowadays, everybody knows all about it. Autoimmune. Every single family, every single person has some sort of autoimmune issue. So here I am, 18 years old, and one of the funniest parts, I tell this, it gets a huge laugh. Now here I am, 18 years old, and they were like, "What's weird? Because this doesn't usually show up unless you're a African American female between the ages of 30 and 50." I'm like, okay, how do I fit into that? So it was just, and that always gets a laugh whenever I mention something like that, because most people are like, huh,
you don't look really black. Yeah, you look a little pale for that. But
yeah, well, 100%. Yeah. And by the way, I got a haircut. I trim my beard and everything for the show, but if you could see me, great. So
I said earlier, you look like you just robbed a liquor store. Perfect. You fit right here in Jersey, man. You fit right in.
Oh,
No,
100%. I should have worn my black cap for that one, though, right?
You look fine, man. You look wonderful. Just like Ashley. I'm
Yeah,
sure you
yeah.
smell terrific. But please go on.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Anyway, so that was literally my 18th year. I was in and out of going into college. I was in and out of various forms. A form of, they called it chemotherapy back then. It wasn't that, but they didn't really have treatment for it. So, when I was 18, they said, okay, here's the deal.
You're talking about the year 2000. We're not talking ancient history like when I went to high school in the late 80s. But I mean, lupus is not cancer, right? I mean, or if you want to, it's autoimmune.
It's autoimmune, 100%. Rheumatoid arthritis generally falls into the same. Crohn's disease will sometimes fall into the same category. And that's not me, is it?
No. That's people trying to call in. We killed it. Don't worry.
Oh, all right. Because I was like, I swear to God, I put my phone on silent.
No, it's not that. It's actually it was someone that we both know. But go ahead.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So anyway, 18 years old. They didn't have treatment for it at that point, other than a form of chemotherapy called Cytoxan. Anyway, here I am. I just graduated. I'm in high school. I'm graduating from high school, going into college, and he was like, "Listen, the only medication we have that shows promise has pretty much." The only person who has succeeded on it died in 20 years. So while she had a good life for 20 years, it was 100% mortality rate. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that because I'd like to live past the age of 40 if possible. So he says, well, this is my doctor at this point. He's like, well, let's do this then. So, there were side effects. For example, I don't have any children because this treatment kills the ability to have children. So, it was at this point that, you need to come to terms. You won't have children of your own with your wife when you get married down the road. So anyway, long story short, it worked. I did this for about 3 years and it worked. I was lupus free. And then I see Ashley there.
Yeah. She's coming in on the side.
Life was good.
Sorry, go ahead.
Life was good for a while. So, down the road, I was young, I was dumb. I did some things, I might not have been great at following certain regimens I might have been following. I didn't follow with doctors as often as I should have. You good, Ash?
Yeah, can you not see me?
No, we could definitely.
No, I can now.
Yeah, both. I was I had to do this and then bring you back in like that because you could hear.
Okay.
But that's okay. Sorry, James. Go ahead.
No, all good, all good. So anyway, down the road.
Go ahead.
Back in the year, what year was this? Because let's see, 13. Do some math for me. 13 years ago. How's that? 2011, something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, 2011-ish. So yeah, 2011, 2012. It turns out that things just really went bad for me. Okay, it turns out that my kidneys were, lupus is an autoimmune disease, just for people who don't know. Lupus is an autoimmune deficiency that attacks your organs. Heart, liver, kidneys, which is top, and sometimes eyes. So it tends that type of damage to your skin, for example. These are all things that it would do. So anyway, long story short, turns out that I needed a new kidney because the lupus damaged my kidney to the point where I was working full time, doing my thing. And then I went to the doctor. He's like, you realize you only have 7% kidney function. So at this point, he's like, you should have been done dialysis 6 months ago.
But you didn't know that, right? Point. I mean, let me.
No, I was just doing my thing.
You didn't know. Okay.
No. Well,
so there's no medicine.
I felt like shit. I felt like crap. And it's not like there was really, I was on some medication at the time that was supposed to control the lupus. I'm not sure if you guys remember from the whole COVID thing, hydroxychloroquine / Plaquenil. That was one of those medications that they said would treat COVID.
Right.
I was on that for a very long time. I was on prednisone for a long time. These are all medications that have positive side effects and also have. It's a
That's a
steroid,
steroid, isn't it?
100%. Yep.
Right.
Yes, it is. So I was on all these medications at this point, just to try to keep everything at bay. But at this point, it just went bad. Okay, and they were apparently going bad for a while. But here I am. I was just doing my thing. I'm young and dumb. So at this point, I went to the doctor. He's like, we really need to get you into dialysis as soon as possible. So I'm literally working a full-time job to within a week being on dialysis 3 days a week.
And
That's how severe.
You were how old?
13 years ago. I'm 42 now, so I was 42 minus 10. I was 32. I was 29. 29 years old.
This killed the ability to be able to. You were.
That was when I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah. So Ashley, you know this story. I think I've told you this story before.
I do. Yeah, I know this story.
So anyway, long story short, I was in dialysis for 6 months. My brother Christopher, I don't know if I should have mentioned it, actually donated one of his kidneys to me, and this is why one of the big things that I'm a huge advocate for is transplantation. Being a donor, God forbid something happens to you, pass on your organs to your eyes, your skin, your kidneys, your heart to people who need it, because at the end of the day, they're all out there, and donor and transplantation is it's personal to me for obvious reasons. So
yeah,
and you might not have lived without that. I mean, had your brother not stepped in like that, that would have been it, right?
100%. So anyway, long story short, here I am. I'm in the hospital. I got my transplant, and this was back in 11. So we're talking 2011. So 13 years ago. It turns out I was like, something's going on with my eyes. So I was just having issues seeing, because we thought it was due to the prednisone. So it turns out that I went up after my transplant, had an eye doctor appointment. He's like, there's some deficiencies here. So anyway, I said, you know what, we'll deal with it. I'm not going to worry about it now. But anyway, it turns out that after I got out of the hospital, I started to recover. After I started to do some stuff. After all that business, I'll say, I went to a doctor for it. I said, what's going on? Why can't I see? Why am I having issues with this? And it turned out that the medication that I was on for all those years for the lupus, one of the side effects was blindness. So what it does is it deteriorates your ability to see. Normally, so basically, I go in for this exam and I have zero peripheral vision. Sorry. So basically, I can see straight, but none of that. I can't see my hands when I do that. So imagine doing that and you can't see anything going on.
You talking about still?
What was that?
You still can't if on both sides.
No. Yeah, no. It's gone. It's completely gone. So
okay.
It basically more. You can't do this stuff, and you're also going to notice some other symptoms. You can't see in the dark. You can't. Your depth perception is going to be very difficult. So if you've ever been, nobody here has, but if you've ever been with me in person, you'll notice that I tend to, whereas a normal person might walk into a dark restaurant and it takes like 30 seconds or 15 seconds for them to like, okay, now I can see everything. It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm literally like a person with visual impairment. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, the adjustment period is just crazy. So anyway, it is what it is.
Are you better now? When I say better, I don't mean to make light of it. I mean this is stuff, and then as you got older, obviously science was catching up to that point. We knew that it was autoimmune. We knew that it attacked the kidneys. We knew that it could affect your body. It's kind of like being a diabetic, where the blood goes everywhere. It goes in your spine, it goes in your liver, it goes in your heart, it goes in your brain. I mean, it's all over the place, and it does this destruction to your whole body. I speak from personal experience on that, but it's an autoimmune disease. For those that might not know what that is, it's really not something that you're catching. It's your own body thinking that it's attacking itself. In essence, that's what autoimmune is. That's what cancer is. That's what lupus is. That's what MS is. I mean, this is all like your body not knowing the difference from a foreign enemy, and it's attacking you. I mean, if I didn't explain that right, that's my take on it. I would assume that that's within line of what you've been told or what you deal with.
That's 100% correct. I mean, there's an old adage out there that everybody has a cancer cell inside them. It's about doing something to bring that cancer cell out. And so, I mean, it is what it is. Whether or not we don't know. I mean, we don't know because here, we don't know what happened 30 years ago, 40 years ago. They didn't have blood tests. They don't have the ability to track this stuff. A great aunt who died at 30 years old from a heart attack, we didn't know what was the reason for it. So,
right. I mean,
does that make sense?
Well, it does because, heart disease and some people say. Now, you're right about the kid. It's not actually a cancer cell. I did this because after my father passed from cancer, I mean, cancer just ravaged my entire family. And I'm not going to get into because this is not about me. But I actually started to find out what I could do. What is the deal? Like, I had to read and read and read because people are going to give you their own whatever. So I found out that it's not even a cancer cell. It's any cell in your body. There is different things though. Number one, it can be genetic. That is true. You could be predisposed and not know it, like what you just said. Number two, or you could have had somebody like 4 generations ago and then it's skipped, like thalassemia, like the blood disease that I had when I was born. It's stuff like that where it'll skip a little bit. Some people get the trait like I did, thank God, and not the actual disease. That's the same parameters that happens with anything else. So you might not even have known. It's not your fault. You were born with that, but any cell in your body can become that way if it doesn't regenerate properly. That much I do know. But as far as lupus is concerned, I mean, that's I heard that people that have that, not that this is better or worse than any other something that is an affliction or anything, that you're in constant pain. Everything hurts. Is that the way that you were? Or no?
Yes. That's key right there. Yes. I used to have those issues. I used to have the decapitating joint, in the debilitating joint pain. I used to have issues picking stuff up, getting out of bed. But, one of the things about transplantation is they put you on immunosuppression medication. So they specifically said, and they cleared this with my rheumatologist, and they said, what if we were to just suppress the immune system? And so that in reality, you have no immune system, but then your lupus has nothing to attack. So since the transplant, which was 13 years ago, knock on wood, I haven't had very many problems as far as that's concerned. So it's been beneficial to me so far. So as far as that's concerned, I'm on medication for the rest of the life. It is what it is. My rest of my life, it is what it is, and we go from there. So
you're on medication, and then I'm guessing that you see the doctor frequently just for upkeep.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's that long now. It's a year. So I'm to the point where I'm a long-term patient now. Honestly, when they look at transplants, they look at success at 10 years. If you can keep a transplant years, that's considered like 100% success. At least time I read about it. I mean, there might be people saying something different now, but I remember when I first started, they were like, if you can keep your transplant for 10 years, they're very happy about that. So, if it's under 5 years, that's when they're a little concerned. Maybe there wasn't, but my brother was a perfect match for me, 6 out of 6 chromosomes. And, those are the genetic markers they look at. You do all the blood tests, you do all the tests, but my brother was literally a perfect match for me. So
and you're lucky now.
It worked out well.
The way I see it, no, I mean, most definitely. I mean, I've never met you, but we've spoke before, and then we're talking now. And like I said, a lot of people, that's like with diabetics, with people with lupus, anything like that. There's certain things, those markers, are certain things that you could tell maybe if someone's sick. But it's also one of those things where, oh, you don't look sick. Like you can't see arthritis. You can't see, a lot of these things, but you might have not have made it if you had to be put on a list had your brother not stepped up. And I mean that in a very heartfelt way because, right? I mean, that could have been 2-3 years. That might have been the end of it. But the fact that you had an exact match.
You're 100% right. There are tons of people on dialysis right now, literally sitting there and waiting. But dialysis starts when you have a 25% or less kidney function. So you could have 10 million people on dialysis, but you have these who are always going to be jumping ahead of it because they something might happen. They might have contracted an illness that just destroyed their kidneys. So several people who have had illnesses where they, within a month of contracting this, their kidneys were at zero, so they automatically go to the top of the list. And the same thing happens with heart disease. The same thing happens with liver disease. It's the people who need it most are the ones that go to the top of the list. So luckily, in my case, I was a living donor transplantation, and he was like, "I'm not. It's not like I'm good else. I'm here. I'm giving my body part to my brother," and that was it. So that's why it was 6 months I was on dialysis. I'm not saying making light of that situation, but there are people who've been on dialysis forever. And sometimes once you get up there in age, they won't even consider it at that point because what is the life expectancy of a person who's, hypothetically speaking, if you're 75 years old, what's the life expectancy of a person on dialysis 10 years, 5 years, compared to a person who might be 45 years old? So these are all factors that are taken into consideration when you're on that list. So,
and can I say something about dialysis? Like, that's amazing. That stuff is not easy, and it takes forever, and it is intense. My late husband had to do that while he was in the hospital, and we're talking, it's intense. It's a lot to go through. Depending on what you have to do, they had to almost put a permaport in, but they didn't.
Well, that's weekly, right?
Yeah, I actually do.
Weekly?
3 times a week.
3 times a week. Wow.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about technology. It's come a long way. When I did dialysis initially, it was I was in the hospital, but there's a procedure called PD, peritoneal dialysis, where they insert a port in your stomach and you do it at home while you're sleeping. So you have the in-hospital, in-lab dialysis 3 times a week. Some people might do it more. Some people might do it less. I'm not really sure of the whole situation, but I did it 3 times a week. I would drive up to wherever I went, and that's what I did until my port was healed, and then I did it at home 7 nights a week. So the options are out there. The technology has certainly come along, and yes, what Ashley said is 1,000% correct. It is. Think about it. You're literally pulling all the blood out of your body. You're filtering it of all the crap in it. You're putting it back. So the next day, you're incapacitated for the entire day. You start feeling better, then you go right back to dialysis. So it wasn't a long time because luckily I had that option out there. But that's what I went through. That was my illness.
Well, the fact that you're talking about it in past tense, I think, would lead everybody to say that this is, thank God. You know what I mean? It's something that you're talking about, which happened to you, that it's not current. And I'm not sure if you can live with one kidney, but it's really difficult from what I heard. Is that not true? Because that's obviously you needed one.
You only need one kidney to survive. You only need one kidney to survive. A lot of people get into accidents where a kidney is damaged and they're one kidney. Like my brother only has one kidney, and they expect him to live a happy, long life. He's got several children, and all that, every time there. So you only need one to survive. Your body. The beautiful thing about your body is it literally adapts to your body's that ability to adapt to anything. So, well, not anything, but that's the wrong way of putting it. But your body will adapt if necessary.
No, the human body is amazing. It's you could have a destroyed liver and then live on 10% of your liver. Not that that's more important, but other than skin, liver's the only organ that's in your body that you can reproduce. A lot of people don't know that. And with kidney, you could be fine with the kid, but then it also is not getting everything out and as quickly. And that could, if you had nothing else pre-existing, then it's okay. But God forbid he doesn't. But if there was other things going on, then then it would become an issue because you can't get the stuff out. And you're talking about everything from gout all the way to just not being able. I get it, but the fact that you're okay and you don't I don't know if you ever got that, but did people ever say, "Oh, you don't look sick"? I mean, did it ever piss you off? I mean, because what do you have to have an eyeball popping out before, you know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not one of those people who. I'm sure there are people out there. I'm the kind of person who just literally lets everything roll off his shoulders because you can't focus on the BS out there. I mean, sure, I've got my depression issues. I've got all those other issues. Everybody's. Yes, you're 100% right. People do say stuff like that. Me, I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I feel. I dismiss a lot of that stuff. So my thing is, my hand's been dealt. I'm where I am, and I'm where I'm. So at this point, I'm just gonna keep moving forward. So, and that was literally. I mean, people say, why aren't you in therapy? Why aren't you in therapy? I probably should be in therapy. I'm just one of those people who are just.
What do you need to be in therapy for? If you obviously have a. You're not crazy.
It has nothing to do.
You're fine.
Dude, we're all crazy, man. Yeah. Everybody, we're all a little bit crazy. You just find your brand of craziness and roll with it. So.
Yeah, I would. They said the jury's been out, and that was in the 70s when I was little. So they still haven't gone back yet. They got lost on the way. Anyway, we have to. I put the number up there if anybody actually wanted to call in. Actually, the person that might have to call in before I choke her will be Ashley because she's got the worst.
9 Eastern.
Nothing
we are on
standard
Spaces on Twitter.
Yeah, I was saying that before. Actually, I don't know if you heard it, James. I was saying, another shameless plug. But I enjoy it when I can get there. I do. No, I can't. When I do, but it's Wednesdays, right? So that's Central Time because we're in Eastern Time. So if it's 9 o'clock here, it's 8 o'clock there.
Yep.
Okay. Look at that. 4 years of college just paid off. All right. Well, anyway, so it's every Wednesday you do it. It's on your Spaces, so that's good.
Yep. You'll always see it labeled Ash and Jordan and whatever topic we're doing, but James will always be there. So he's become the staple, him and Emily.
Right. Yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
She likes horror movies.
Likes horror movies.
I kind of screwed her. I screwed her up a little bit, because we didn't have a lot of chance to practice. I told her it was coming, so I would ask her questions. She's like, "You or me?" I'm like, "No, I'm asking you the question."
I know. I saw that. I was like, "Oh."
She's like, "Me?"
Yeah. I DM'd her and I was like, "Emily, just listen for a second." But she didn't catch it till after the fact. So it was all good.
She was a little nervous. So. She got that's why I backed off a little bit. I'm like, the sarcasm. I'm throwing too much at her, and she's like, Then when we had the Davy Crockett tattoo on her ass, I think everybody was like. that section was finally over. The one-armed guy walking into the second-hand store threw her. She was done for 4 minutes. I lost her, and I'm like, I didn't even get to like the finger-licking good thing. I didn't even have time to go into there because she started breaking out in hives. Poor girl.
Oh yeah, she was nervous. You could tell, but anybody would be.
And like I said,
it's the whole being on camera thing. That's what it was. So
Yeah, it's. No, she did. Actually, she's very, very nice, and we talked about some, but it was funny, and the way it was set up as like a Tennessee versus Jerry, it wasn't versus anything. That's the stupid AI thing that came up. I don't label this shit. It was more or less the different things, but she's wonderful. We'll have her on again. I know she goes in your Spaces, and who's your other friend, Ashley, that you have on there sometimes? That you had a picture of her the other day.
With her, that's Britt. We don't see her much anymore.
Right. Her
on Spaces.
No.
No,
she's too busy. She's got other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got better stuff to do, like watch horror movies.
She's got her stuff. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's got a whole plate.
That's called what? Hookers Are Us? What is that called, actually?
What
is, I'm sorry, did I say that? I meant.
It's more like Kids Are Us, I think, with her, so.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't even know the girl, and I'm like jiving on her. I've seen various things, we'll just call it that. And then people like kind of just pile in and jump all over her, too. What is the story?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Why? What? Like,
I don't know because
I'm joking because she's her, but a lot of these people, they're
right,
like,
and that's okay.
And upset about it, and I'm like, oh my god, I do a show, I have an excuse. What's your excuse? Oh well, we're just
right.
I'm just going to be a what do you call it? Just for the hell of it. Oh, let me just be and that's fine.
That's exactly right.
Have time for that. Honestly,
well, I'll tell you. the females, like this recent female, I'm not going to say any names, who started going after Britney and had been going after her for a week till I noticed. Her thing was, and I believe this to be a fact, I don't know because I don't know her and I don't know her situation, but she had an OnlyFans at one time. And she had sold content, and that's how she got up to so many followers. That's what I was told by somebody. And that they followed her on OnlyFans before and all that stuff.
You got followers because
Huh?
of what? Because of the delay. I didn't mean to talk over you. You said you got
Because of
what?
OnlyFans. Oh, because of OnlyFans. She got so
Oh,
many
okay.
followers. You know, now she doesn't have an OnlyFans, but she does subscriptions through Twitter. So I think that what she was scared of is Britney was getting so much attention so fast that it started hurting her ego. And she just decided to go in after Britney. And now the guys, I almost think it's because she doesn't answer their DMs. I think that's
Well,
really
she's
what it
probably
is.
getting like 15 an hour. It's probably like a friggin' airport incoming and everything because you see a pretty blonde. You know what I mean? It's come on. We already know this is where we're at right now. I mean, it is what
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. You're going to attract good and bad. There's rats on every ship, and that's just the way
Right.
it is.
Well,
It's worse
what
for
about
women,
you,
I would
James?
assume. Yeah, James,
Oh.
you have a lot of people slide into your DMs, bro.
Well, I
What's the
mean,
story?
what's your take on the Britney thing? Like, why people are so jealous? She's a good example because she's had so many people come at her recently.
Yeah, I saw.
Listen, I mean, as far as I know about Britney, and she's got, what does she have? She's up to 40,000 followers, and she's been on Twitter for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it's just she got popular. She got wicked popular, wicked quick. You know, I've been on Twitter since 2000, since it started 2009, and I've got 2,000 followers. But I'm not a pretty blonde, so it's gonna happen. So, but that's my point, though. She just got wicked popular, wicked quick. And, and you know, some women, not all women, obviously, but some women are jealous is the wrong word there, I think, but it's just they want in on that action a little bit. So by just attacking somebody on their page, they're drawing that attention to themselves because, you know, even if she got like that whole thing that you went through, Ashley, where you and her, that person were, she probably granted herself a dozen to 15 to 20 followers just because she was involved in that whole debacle. Does that make sense?
Right. It does. It does. Oh, I noticed her follower count went down.
Who's went down?
I
Go ahead, James. What were you saying?
Oh, I'm not even sure who we're talking about. I'm not sure if you're talking.
The girl from.
I know, Ashley. You're up there to almost 40,000 now, right? Something like that.
No.
You're
it's
way
like
up
29.
there.
I'm good with it though. I didn't do anything.
When I first met Ashley, that was probably very beginning of October or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe even before that. It was right after the summer. It was when we were on break. And you had maybe 16,000. Now you have like almost 30.
That's when.
Well, minus one.
Yeah, that's where I joined.
I'm gonna stop following her because she screwed up everything earlier. So let me hit.
I know it was terrible.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't even worry about the followers, but there's so many people who do on Twitter. Like,
yeah, it's a big deal to a lot of people. I had an older account in 2016. It got COVID and passed away. And now I had the new one that I opened up about a little over a year ago. It's got, I think it's approaching 3,000. Honestly, that's great, but I don't mean this in a bad way. Who gives a shit? Honestly, it's
right.
If I see someone that's interesting, I'll follow them. Or to me, I'm worried about, or I'm concentrating on the video portion of it, which is the YouTube thing, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music, all this stuff, and plus the actual show itself, the satellite radio. That's kind of what I want to do. I give that the stuff that we're monetized on, which is Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, all that stuff. I give that to charity anyway. So it's even if I hit a certain thing, I'm not keeping it. So I don't know what their motivation is. Not that it's bad to be monetized and keep the money, but I'm just saying that everybody's got. I don't even know how that even all works. But I guess people are motivated by that, right? I just want to be able to meet some people, have some fun, play some of my stuff. I have friends and people that I know that'll help retweet it to get it out. It helps me out because we're a small station that's getting crushed by bigger guys, and just to be nice because I'm nice to them. And that's really it. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. For me, that's it. I don't care. It's not really my whole life. I know people that have their phone like this, like constantly.
Right.
Take it, man. Take it easy. Take it.
And I love how people are always like, Ashley, you post so much. I'm like, have you ever heard of drafts, asshole? I keep so much in my drafts folder.
Yeah,
Y'all,
what
every
is
time I
that?
see something funny. Well, the drafts
Well, I'm
folder,
trying to
you
like. So what exactly is draft? So what
oh, drafts
is that?
is
Is that when cold? What when it's we
well
got the
when you go
door
to
open?
post something. Well, when you go to post something, you can hit cancel, and then it'll say save to drafts or delete. I always save it to drafts, and then I can go back later and post it whenever I feel like it.
So
So
you're
I
an
have like a
expert.
million things in there. So
I just they're
I
like
do that when I want to find the perfect GIF. So that's all.
yeah, whatever you do, don't DM me. And then they're like, okay, just DM me. You know, I've actually DM people that put that just because that's who I am. If you put that, that's like opening the door for me to screw around.
yeah,
And
you're
95% of them respond back, and it's like funny. But I did a video on that. I'm like, stop scaring the interesting women away. Nobody cares about your friggin' tripod or your how big your is. Nobody. And the women that do want that, you should probably second guess the fact of what do you even want to talk to them for? Like, I mean, unless you're into that kind of thing. Honestly, like, oh, you're really nice. And you know what I mean? And you're trying to talk to them and meet them. And then all of a sudden, yeah, let me just send you know what? I'm going to send her a picture of my penis because I figured that's the natural next step. What are you kidding me? What the hell is wrong with you?
they want a
You know,
preview, obviously.
and they got to hurry up because mom might come downstairs because she just made meatloaf and bringing it down to the basement for you. So you're going to have to hurry up, take the friggin' idiot, and then do that, right?
Yeah, the best example of all of this right now is on Ash's NGM. Is you're not gonna lie. What did I say today? What was that? The person about their pecker, right? And I'm like,
Oh my god, did you just say pecker?
did you even? Yeah, I said pecker because should I have said whatever? Anyway, so he's like,
You can say Richard or
like,
Dick. Either
oh
one.
my. Listen, my dick is 4 inches. Well, I'm like,
oh yeah.
Why would you even share that? And these are like information we didn't know for 300, Alex. So it's like, who cares?
You're not sliding into any DMs or anything else with 4 inches, but still, I personally don't know why guys would want to even. What do they even? I don't know. I guess, but it's stupid. Why would you, if you actually like someone, like if you're trying to not just get a reaction out of them and you want to conduct a conversation, let's say, and I do with a lot of people, guys, girls, whatever it is, why would you come up with that? Like, you know what? I'm going to send her my balls now. That's the next step. No, idiot. It's not.
She's
And
gonna
now you're
love
making it worse for
this.
people like me that I have to get vetted 16 ways to Sunday because I'm not a perv and that it's all business for me. And some people I'm friendly with, you know what I mean? But it makes it worse for everybody. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, what a lovely penis. Yeah, I'm going to talk to him, but no DMs, please, because I'm busy looking at this guy's Bunsen burner over here. I never understood this shit. I don't.
Hey, baby.
I don't know. I don't get that. I guess that's all the, like I said, for us growing up, streaming was not a thing. Catfishing had a whole different meaning, and ghosting. Well, we'll get into that in the next show. But I don't know. Just to round off the show, final thoughts from either one of you on what maybe Ashley said, what James said. What do you think? Do you know any more about him or her than you did before you came on, or no?
I'll go first because I know Ashley will have something insightful to say. I've known Ashley since for a while now. So, and I join all the spaces other than one I think I missed, but I've heard all these stories before. But if you want to hear, and Greg, out of respect to you, man, you're one of the best DJs I've ever live. She shares her interview that she had with you literally all the time. Like you shared it like 3 times this past interview, just so people. So if you ever want to hear Ashley's real complete story, just go to her X page or Twitter page. Sorry. So
don't be sorry to me, man. I don't know squad and everything. I have it. You get it on there. It's on my YouTube page, but you have a copy of it. I gave a copy of it.
Oh yes.
Because it's like a two-way street. It's giving the show some I don't know what's that. Not just attention, it's just different things, but it also it opens the door for her as well, and for her Spaces thing that now, because that's gotten more popular. I'm not saying it's because of that. I'm saying that can't hurt. So it's like a two-way street, and I'm happy to have you guys on, because I think the world of both of you. And I Spaces is one thing. I'm not saying that's just not my thing. So I could always be on it, but I could never run it. That's for you guys.
Yeah.
I can't even get this other stuff to work. So man. But like I said, it pisses me off. I'm like, yeah, let me go on here on my phone. So all this stuff that I don't need, I can just do it. I wish I would have known that. I spent a lot of money renewing my FCC license, and I will be in the directory, the national directory for broadcasters by June. So that's a good thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, because our call letters might
Congratulations.
change. Thank you. We're working on interviewing DJs from coast to coast. We're going to have a couple on the West Coast, a couple on the East Coast, a couple mid or south, and we're going to actually have a radio station which plays copyrighted music. We're going to pay for the financing and all that, and have different, like one DJ will do just 80s at 8 o'clock, and the guy out in Seattle is going to do classic rock, and I'm going to just kind of try to run everything and still do my show. And so we have a lot of good things that are coming up in the works. But when you guys repost it, retweet, whatever you want to call it, for us, it really helps. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
So, like I said, had it not been for some of the technical stuff earlier, we would have had more time. But we're already at, oh my God, it's almost time for Chef Boyardee. Yeah, like I get got here, baby. But anyway, thank you, James. Thank you for sharing your stuff. I appreciate it. You're a gentleman and a scholar. And yeah, I appreciate you coming on. A round of applause for him. That's way too
Thank you
much.
for having me.
And Ashley, we appreciate you. I'm just playing with it. I have a new toy. I gotta play around with this. Nah, you know how you already know how I feel about you. You're an awesome guest. You're an awesome person, and I look forward to coming on your sometime whenever you want me on your Spaces. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, we talked about next week.
Yeah, all right.
We got to see about your schedule.
Don't push me now. All right. So anyway, I appreciate both of them. Or no, I'm joking, of course. Whatever it is, I'll set my alarm clock. I'll make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure your phone is charged that day, if you don't mind. Just, I think I speak from everybody.
It was my computer, man, and you know what? Something is wrong with it because I had it plugged up too.
Yeah, that's hey, it happens. What are you gonna do? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's James, that's Ashley. They're friends of the show, friends of mine now, and we appreciate them stopping by and sharing true life stories. I mean, that's what it is. So it's not really sad, but true. It's true, but they're not sad, are they? They don't look sad. They don't act sad, and that gives you a belief that there is hope, that you can not have everything happen 100% in your life and still be okay going forward, because once again, you can only do one day at a time. That's what they tell us, and that's what we know. Guys, thanks a lot. I'm going to bring you out there, and I will talk to you both soon. Be well. Take care. Say a prayer. James, comb your hair, and we'll see you there. See, that all rhymed. I'm sorry I didn't know it.
I'll try.
All right. Sorry for all the technical difficulty, but bye.
It's okay.
It's in fashion. It happens. New Jersey, nothing works good on a Sunday. Someone emailed me before, real quick. They're like, "Oh, so you're Italian. So what are you guys going to have today? Do I really have to say? What do you think we eat on Sunday?" What a stupid question.
Shouldn't even be doing this stuff on a Sunday. You should be eating spaghetti. And I'm half Italian, by the way. So.
Oh, the good half. That's good to know. But yeah, I know. I was like, "What the? What are you kidding me? Of course, we eat at like 2:00 in the afternoon, not 8:00 at night." My grandfather used to be stuck to the plastic on the furniture by then. You don't eat it. You don't start at that time. You know what I mean? You got to do this around the house to make sure his cigar ash doesn't walk around and then you get to it. So yeah, I'm flying solo today. Like I said, I have a half cat scratch fever, half Saturday night fever. I wasn't feeling that great today, but everything will work out fine. Anyway, guys, we will see you soon. Take care. Well, there you have it. So that was James and that was Ashley. And they're actually very super cool people. I'm goofing around with them and doing what I do. But to be able to have people that are being sincere, they're not making this stuff up. They are sharing their real life experiences with you, with our listeners here in the New York, New Jersey area. and beyond because it'll go on YouTube, the Mean Machine Radio Show. If you are not following, you could go on there. We'll also be found on Instagram, Twitter, or X, obviously. That's at Gregory Joseph 70. Yes, that is my real name, except the 70 is not part of my real name, for those that didn't understand that. And of course, on WGAT, I'm on there several times a week, but you don't see it because we don't stream all of them. I might on Tuesday. But anyway, we have a lot of good things in the works. I wanted to personally thank Ashley, thanking James. Check out Ashley's spaces on Wednesdays, like she said. Wednesdays, it's if you're on the East Coast, it would be, I believe, 9 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock theirs, or it might be 9 and 10. Leave it to me to screw that up. Look, I don't give a rat's ass. Just watch her stuff. She's pretty cool. At Miss Ashbash 420, that's her handle on there, and usually James is there too. And those guys are cool, and hopefully we could get Jordan as well next time. A lot of great subjects, a lot of great people, a lot of great causes out there. And I keep saying great because they really are. But to be made aware of what's happening out there, I will tackle or help tackle the stuff that needs to be talked about, the stuff that needs to be said. It's very nice to see a commercial on something and it bothers you or makes you cringe, like I said earlier, and you go, "Oh, that's so terrible. Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry that that's going on." And then you just walk away. Well, it's time to sit up. Like I said, no more blissful ignorance, no more plausible deniability. People out there need you to know that they're in the fight and that it's worth fighting for, whether they're a survivor, whether they're a victim, whether it's what to do, whether it's what not to do. You know, we're talking about children. We're talking about some adults. We're talking about sex trafficking. We're talking about child trafficking. We're talking about just nasty, disgusting people out there who will do anything to just line their pockets. And this is happening everywhere. It's not just in one place. It's happening in a lot of places. We're going to have people on that actually know about this firsthand. A lot of great people that I've met. Well, I have not met yet, but I have spoken to. And they believe in what they're doing. They really, really, a lot of the people that I've just spoken to just in the last week or so, a lot of them are very, very courageous and they need to get it out. I talk to different people, men and women, and it's time for people to know exactly what's going on, not just here in the New York, New Jersey area, everywhere. So if you're within the sound of reach of me, you're my voice out there for you. You're going to give them a chance to either be on camera or call in, and they are going to tell their story. They are going to tell you what's really going on, how you can help, let you be aware that this does happen and it is going on and it's serious. And it's better to take care of it now and bring awareness to it now than it is later because it's been going on too long and it aggravates me. So I'm going to do everything I can to give them a platform to read for them, whatever I can do to try to help one day at a time, people. That's what we've learned. If we've learned nothing else after today, you can, no matter how you prepare, your attitude, life is a state of mind. If you can't find a good person out there, be that good person, pay it forward. Got to do stuff that's good for the soul. Live in the dash. Do you remember that? If anybody out there remembers, I did a video on that quite a while ago. It says live in the dash. If you don't know what the dash is, I'm going to tell you what that is right now. You look at a gravestone and you have the year that you were born and the year that you died. Now, obviously not you if you're looking at it, but I'm saying you see that. What's in between those two dates? A dash. Live in the dash. People say, oh, well, I want to die with dignity. Try living with it because either way, you're going to go one day. So can't you want to look back, right? And say, well, I lived with dignity. Everybody goes one day. So try living with it. Help a person. Doesn't mean you have to throw money out. I mean, I know a lot of people are hurting out there. I get it. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. Man made this problem, so man can fix this problem. Seems easy enough, right? If you think about it theoretically, that should be good enough, right? There's always going to be evil people in the world, but one good person, one at a time, cancels them out. I'm one of those people. I've decided to be a long time ago, and now I'm doing something about it, and I'm going to. That's what I'm about, and I'm sure you are as well. New Jersey 88 WGAT. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with me. I am Gregory Joseph. This was and is and always will be the Mean Machine. Mean Machine 973 at outlook.com if you want to drop us a line. You can find us on Twitter. You can find this show and other ones on our YouTube page, The Mean Machine Radio Show, also on Spotify and iHeartRadio within 48 hours. Look for updates if you're following us on Twitter or X, whatever. And I usually put updates on who we're going to have on what day down the road, as far as different chats, different interviews, remotely mostly. I'm not going to be going on. I was asked to speak on a few. Some I declined because I had to for availability purposes, but others I will do. So, once again, thanks to Ashley, thanks to James, and thank you guys for listening and watching. We're small, but we're growing. And yeah, that's what she said. Have a great weekend. Have a great week coming up, and we will talk to you and see you really soon. Thanks a lot for listening. I appreciate you. Good night, Jersey.